Hello everybody and welcome to another live research video on Twitch, twitch.tv/diary of a pro gambler. And in today's live stream we will be doing something very different. We will be taking a deep dive into the biggest fight of the year, which is KSI versus Logan Paul. Two YouTubers going head to head, putting it all on the line this weekend in the boxing ring for the second time. Remember, they have previously fought before, so we will be watching that fight together in this live stream, taking a look at both guys from a technical point of view to see if we can gain any kind of clues as to who might win this weekend. Because remember, this is the biggest fight of the year in terms of numbers. These boys will sell far more pay-per-views this year than anyone else in combat sports, and for that reason we need to take this fight seriously, because the liquidity and max bet limits on this fight will be very, very big. As you can see, we are still 4 days away from the fight taking place, and all the betting sites, even the really small ones like, sites no one's ever heard of like VBet and 10bet for the better or wherever it is, MoPlay, all these sites already have odds up for this fight. And as we can see, Logan Paul currently around about a 1.53 favourite, which is going to be minus 189 for an implied probability of 65%. So to basically gain any value from betting on Logan Paul this weekend, you've got to give him around about a 70% chance of winning. And then to gain any value on KSI, with his odds currently being around an average of 2.70, which is plus 170 for an implied probability of 37%, you'd really want to cap KSI as having around about a 45% chance of winning to get any value on this fight. So this is actually the first of 2 videos that I will be putting out this week for KSI versus Logan Paul. In this video, we are going to be taking a deep dive into the past fights of both guys and analysing them from a technical point of view. And then I will put out another video in maybe a few hours or tomorrow, giving my final verdict on this fight. And the reason why we're going to be doing 2 videos is because I really feel like tape study is only half the story when it comes to this fight. For the vast majority of fights that I research, the vast majority of fights you can find me breaking down on my YouTube channel, tape study is the most important component of my research process, because the footage doesn't lie, the camera doesn't lie, and the skills the fighters display in the octagon or the ring are the most important thing you should be paying attention to. However, these boys, both KSI and Logan Paul, both live their lives online. They've both put out a ton of content for this fight, interviews, podcasts, loads of information we can draw on to try and form a strong opinion on this fight. So we won't be covering that in this live stream, but I will be putting out a video on YouTube very soon, capping my final thoughts on this matchup. And in this video, like I say, we're going to be taking a deep dive into their past fights and watching them together. And it is very important at this stage in the video to make it very clear that a lot of people see this fight as a joke. Obviously, I produce a lot of serious content related to MMA and the UFC every week. I don't think this fight is a joke at all. I think it's deadly serious. I think the KSI and Logan Paul are honestly 2 absolute powerhouses when it comes to entertainment and content creation and media. I believe they're absolutely crushing it. I'm a big fan of both guys. I've been watching KSI for like years, ever since I was like in my teens. Absolute beast, incredible content creator, super creative and super inspirational. And of course, Logan Paul, really is one of the guys that took vlogging to the next level. I mean, vlogging was kind of sloppy and scrappy and messy until Logan Paul started pumping out daily vlogs, and he really elevated the standard of vlogging that exists today on the internet, and it's great to see the evolution of Logan's content and career and character across the different phases of his career, where he started on Vine and then he moved on to producing vlogs on YouTube, and now obviously he's getting into the podcast game, boxing, merchandise, Both these boys are crushing it. So it is a shame one of them has to lose, because the internet is full of total bastards who I am sure are going to try and ruin the loser's life. But shout out to these boys for daring the dream and putting it all on the line. And also shout out to you, Cletus, for subscribing to my channel with your Amazon Prime membership. Thank you very much. Twitch.tv/Diary of a Pro Gambler. Check me out if you want to get in on these live streams in the future. If you're watching this video after the fact on YouTube, please hit the like button if you like this, and also subscribe if you haven't already. Enough talking from me. Let's watch some face punching. So the first fight that we are going to be studying in this live stream is KSI's first ever boxing fight against Joe Weller, all the way back in February 2018. Now, Joe Weller, of course, was the guy that basically kicked off this whole YouTube boxing scene. He was, he is still one of the greatest content creators that ever come out of the UK. Superb YouTuber, extremely creative. Check out his channel, he's a beast. And this was his first fight. He challenged KSI to a fight. KSI accepted. The rest is history. And I just want to also let you guys know that this is like me live streaming the first stage of my research for my final verdict. That'll be coming out on YouTube tomorrow or later on. So I will be making notes throughout this, watching these fights on the old iPad. So if I have to like pause and stuff, or I just make a few notes, please forgive me. But here we go. Let's get into watching this fight. Obviously KSI with a red headguard and I was about to say a cow pattern on his shorts, but I'm sure it isn't a cow pattern. We'll see exactly what it is when the camera zooms out. Here we can see KSI with quite a big size advantage over Joe, and ironically Logan Paul will be the man with the size advantage when they step inside the ring on Saturday night. As ever, if you are watching live on Twitch, please hit me up in the live chat with any questions you have got, and I will answer them as we go. Here we go. This is KSI and Joe Weller, and this fight took place almost 18 months ago now, so I'm sure we are going to see some big improvements to KSI. And Joe Weller marching forward like the Terminator, going full Artem Lobov there, and KSI doing a great job of flicking that jab out just to back him up. I mean, this week on the Sky Sports open workout broadcast, Joe Weller was one of the pundits for Sky Sports. He's also commentating as far. A huge lead left hook lands for Joe. KSI eats it absolutely no problem though, and gets right back to that jab. Whoa, steady on, boys. Steady on, boys. This is getting wild already. I was just saying that when I watched the open workout broadcast earlier on, Joe Weller was saying that one of the reasons why he struggled so bad in this fight was because KSI kept pumping the jab in his face, and it made it very difficult for him to find his rhythm. But Jesus, he has lit KSI up with two huge left hooks here early on in this fight. But KSI always talks about, there's a huge left hook there. KSI always talks about how tough he is, how durable he is. He has talked quite openly this week about another huge left hook there, which wobbled him a little bit. But KSI has spoken this week about how durable he is, how great his cardio is. He said he's been sparring with pro boxers at the Mayweather gym, and no one has managed to drop him. He said that he has had his ass kicked on more than one occasion in the gym, but no one's actually managed to put him down, and that he can certainly take some damage, certainly take a punch. And here, with the way that Joe has repeatedly landed that lead left hook, is absolutely no surprise that KSI has been able to take a shot in training, because even though these left hooks have landed pretty hard, pretty clean to snap the head back of KSI, he is still hanging in there. And he seems to have eased off a little bit on the jab here, though, which was working so well for him earlier on in this round. You can see KSI starting to grow in confidence, which is great, really. I mean, we're evaluating these fighters, very, very early on in their careers. Obviously, they lack a lot of experience, and it's going to throw them off when they eat big, hard, clean shots. We could see Weller pressuring KSI against the ropes there, but what I really like here is, I mean, there again, KSI eats a huge left hook. You see Joe Weller smiling at him, knowing that he connected hard with that. And one of the most impressive things about what I'm seeing from this first round, I mean, we're only 2 minutes into this first round. KSI has eaten 3 or 4 pretty big left hooks, and he's hanging in there. You know what I mean? You can still see that there's no quitting him. He's not losing any confidence. He's still staying patient, still staying calm, still sticking to his jab. And it's cool to see, man, because a lot of guys, you know what I mean? This was his first ever fight. There's like 10, 15,000 people in this arena, millions of people watching on YouTube. I believe this was streamed live on YouTube. But he's still hanging in there, still confident, still moving well, hasn't slowed down at all, eating some big shots and still hanging in there. But you just see in moments like this, if we just rewind a little bit, you imagine Logan's a big, strong, powerful guy, which we're going to be seeing later on. Notice how, as JJ, as KSI backs up here against the ropes, his hands are down low, his chin is up high and exposed. They're going to be wearing no head guards in the... I mean, it was just that little sequence there. If we just pause that, take it back a few frames, KSI's done a great job of backing up and just pumping the jab in Weller's face to disrupt his rhythm. But as you see Weller coming forward here, he's trapped JJ flat-footed against the ropes, hands down by his side, chin up high and exposed, completely exposed, wide open to the right hook. Weller doesn't land it. KSI manages to get out of jail here, but you can see he's an absolute sitting duck. Now remember, KSI did have a big size advantage here, quite a bit bigger than Joe Weller. With Logan Paul's a big guy. He's going to have the size advantage. JJ wide open to the right hook counter there, and there's nowhere for him to go. Earlier on in this round when Weller was landing those big left hooks, KSI was basically moving backwards and trying to slip them unsuccessfully. I mean, they still landed, but because he was moving backwards, they didn't land with full impact, which took a little bit of the sting off the left hook. But when you see KSI getting trapped against the ropes like that, he's going to be wide open to eating a big right hook, and with no head guards, 10-ounce gloves, could be problems for him if Logan Paul can land. But of course, this is his first fight. This was from 18 months ago, and we're going to be watching his fight against Logan Paul in just a little while to see what kind of improvements he has made, which is very interesting. Good first round, though. Very, very entertaining first round. Kamikaze82 is asking how much training did he have before this fight? And an easy way for us to answer that is if we look at Joe Weller KSI fight announcement and then we look at the date that it actually took place, we should be able to work out when or how much training he actually had, right? Actually, if we do announced, that should give us a better idea. So they fought on the 3rd of February. Cool. But when was the fight announced? I don't know how much time he had to prepare, dude. If anyone on Twitch can go and dig that up for me, I would really, really appreciate it. I'm not sure how long KSI had to prepare for this. But yeah, decent first round, entertaining first round. Anyone that tells me that they're not entertained by what we've just seen, you're lying, mate. You are absolutely lying. It was an entertaining fight. You know what I mean? That was an entertaining first round. This is the biggest fight of the year by far. At the end of the day, no one's going to sell more pay-per-views than Logan Paul and KSI. This is a huge fight. Very exciting. I'm excited for it. I'm looking forward to watching it as a fan. Like I say, I've followed these boys throughout their careers. It's great to see them evolve as content creators. And I'll just make some notes there. Sorry, boys, just writing some notes, make it a little bit easier for me to finish this breakdown later on. And Luke Dragonflame just asking for us to check the odds. Yeah, we've got it up here, dude. So Logan Paul is around about a 1.53 favourite, which is minus 189 for an implied probability of 65%, which means in order to bet Logan Paul, you've got to give him a 70% chance or better of winning in order to get any value there. If we look at the odds currently on JJ, on KSI, 2.75, which is plus 175 for an implied probability of 36%. So realistically, you'd want to be giving JJ around a 45% chance of winning to get any value here. So we will watch that fight in a little while. So this is into the second round now. Weller against KSI from 18 months ago. Now let's see if KSI got any advice from his coaches in between rounds to see if he does anything about shutting down that left hook that Joe Weller had so much success landing in the first round. You know, we can see Weller already swung that left hook out there 10 or 20 seconds ago. Didn't come anywhere near landing it that time. JJ done a really good job of slipping it. And also this time, another little adjustment that we see KSI make. Remember towards the end of that first round, we saw KSI trapped, flat-footed, trapped against the ropes, hands down low, you know, wide open to the big counters of Weller, whereas on that occasion did a really good job of tying Weller up as he came forward. We also saw him tie Weller up there to catch a break. Very, very good stuff from KSI. Obviously going to the clinch as opposed to just being caught flat-footed with his hands down low like a rabbit caught in the headlights in the middle of the road, about to get smushed. And again, very, very good there as Weller comes forward, goes to the clinch to stifle the offense of Joe Weller there. Very, very nice. But obviously, you know, KSI has got a big size advantage over Weller. It's going to be easier for him to go to the clinch. Might not be as easy to control Logan in the clinch because of Logan being so much bigger than him. Will be very, very interesting to see how that looks. In the next fight that we watch from the last time KSI and Logan Paul fought. And I mean, I will say that that was like a left straight, but Paul, you know, Joe Weller has had so much success with that, and we're only, you know, 5 minutes into this fight, and he's repeatedly landed it over and over and over again. So it will be interesting to go and watch, you know, KSI's fight against Logan and just see how much success Logan had landing the left hand, and if he didn't have any success landing the left hand, was he throwing the left hand, or is that something that his team could potentially have looked at, you know, when evaluating this fight as a potential weakness? And wow, KSI with the Muay Thai style throw there, don't see that very often in boxing, but KSI playing a little bit dirty there. 10 seconds left to go in this round. That's not really going to make any difference to the outcome of this round. Dr. Remilek is saying books are taking action on this. Mate, the thing is, this is the biggest fight of the year. They will sell the most pay-per-views. They will get the most views by far. There will be more liquidity on this fight than pretty much, I would say, just as much liquidity as any other fight this year. You know, the amount of people watching this, the bookies are going to take big bets on this fight, no doubt about it. You know, this is a big liquidity event, big views, big pay-per-view sales, lots of eyeballs. Bookies are going to be taking big bets on this one. Yeah, so what we will do, boys, as soon as we're done watching this, we'll go back and watch the first fight between Logan Paul and KSI. We're now going into the third round here. So Joe Weller's had a lot of success in these first two rounds. I've actually got Weller up 2 rounds here. But obviously, you know, KSI's starting to have a lot more success here and comes out the gate at 1,000 miles an hour, getting right in Weller's face, coming out super aggressive, letting his hands go. Huge right hook lands for KSI there, and potential momentum swing in this round in a big way. Weller having a lot of success with the left hand in the first and the second round, but as he possibly is starting to slow down. KSI coming out super aggressive here, and now we get to see the left hook again. Left hook is money for Joe Weller. All fight he has been able to land that left hook, and KSI hasn't been able to really do too much about it, apart from going to the clinch a little bit more often in the second round. But that left hand for Weller, absolute money. Very, very keen to see how Logan's left hook is looking in the next fight that we're going to watch. But quite clear that Weller's starting to slow down a little bit here, and not too surprising. You know, he's been throwing absolutely everything into these left hooks. He started very fast. He's gone out there headhunting a little bit in round 1 and 2. Doing very well in round 1 and 2 though, but obviously KSI possibly weathering the early storm, growing in confidence. Here we can see him very focused. He beating his chest there as he comes across the ring, going after Weller now, letting his hands go. But you know what I'm seeing from KSI is KSI's obviously got great cardio. He's not slowing down at all here. Looks like he hits pretty damn hard as well, to be honest with you. When he's swinging these hooks, letting his hands go, landing with a lot of impact. The problem is when he comes forward and he's winging these hooks are wide and wild, and he is against someone with better footwork, better movement, better jab. I think he'd be in a lot of trouble. He's wide open to big counters. We've seen that throughout this fight. The problem is Weller is fighting in a way that is all attack or all defense. He's not really blending his attack and defense too good, and there we go. KSI gets the stoppage. What I'm trying to say is when Weller's coming forward, he's letting his hands go, but when KSI's coming forward, Weller's not throwing any counters at all. He's just kind of going into a defensive shell, which means KSI isn't being made to pay for his recklessness as he comes forward winging these wild hooks. So that is the first fight, KSI's first ever boxing match against Joe Weller. Definitely a good number of weaknesses there that Logan could potentially exploit. I mean, if we talk about the strengths and the weaknesses we've got so far, I mean, the strengths, definitely susceptible to that left hook, possibly susceptible to the right hook as well. I mean, we saw him backed up and wide open to eating big shots on more than one occasion. Also quite reckless as he comes forward, literally just wings wild hooks. But no doubt that he's tough. Ate a good amount of big shots, particularly early in that fight. Didn't lose any confidence, hung in there, weathered the storm, and then came back strong. Definitely has good cardio. I mean, that fight was contested at a crazy pace. Didn't slow down at all in that fight. Absolutely fresh as a daisy. His cardio looked great. KSI is definitely tough. We can say that for sure. So what we will do now is we will watch the first fight from KSI and Logan Paul. This took place back last summer, August 31st. So these boys have fought, these boys fought just over a year ago. And for anyone that thinks this fight is a joke, for anyone that doesn't respect what these two boys are doing on Saturday night, just understand that this fight had 20 million views on YouTube, not including the pay-per-view buys. So this is a big fight, absolutely no doubt about it. Now let us go on and watch this fight. So some good stuff there. Some good stuff. Let me just make a couple more notes. Two secs, guys. Almost done. Bam, we are on to the Logan Paul fight. So specific things we're looking for here. Has JJ's striking defense improved? Footwork improved? Anything like that? Is he still reckless when he comes forward on the attack? So for context, this fight was about 6 months after JJ KSI fought Joe Weller. So it's about a 6-month period of potential improvements for KSI. Now let's see how this plays out. Remember, this is Logan Paul, KSI. This time around, when they fight on Saturday night, they'll be wearing 10-ounce gloves instead of 18-ounce gloves and no head guards. So bear that in mind. So Logan Paul this time pumping the jab out there. Very, very nice. But you can see, I mean, the big difference here is KSI had a big size advantage over Joe Weller, whereas it is quite clear that Logan Paul is by far the bigger man here. So KSI having to face a much bigger opponent here, no longer having the size advantage. Both guys just taking some time to feel each other out here. It looks like KSI talking to Logan there, and finally they start to let their hands go. So just the first little change there, nothing major, just the first little thing we've seen from KSI. So you remember early on in the Joe Weller fight, he ate 2 or 3 huge left hands that he didn't see coming. Weller just landed absolute left-hand bombs on him, whereas here we can see something that KSI didn't do in that first fight. When Logan Paul throws the left hand in just a second, you will see KSI get his hands up and block it, which is something that he didn't do in that first hand. You see there, we can just pause it. If we go back, very, very nice from Mr. KSI. This is something that he didn't do against Joe Weller. This left hand would have landed all day in the last fight. You can see there as Logan threw the left hand out there. KSI kept his hands up to block. Very, very nice. So just a small potential improvement we might have seen from KSI, but obviously a very, very important improvement, because you do not want to let your opponent land the kind of bombs on you that Joe Weller was landing, particularly when they're going to be using 10-ounce gloves instead of 18-ounce gloves, no head guards, and obviously Logan is a much bigger man than Joe Weller. Much more technical fight this than the Joe Weller fight. The Joe Weller fight right out the gate was completely wild, but here we see both guys just exchanging jabs in this first round. Logan poking his tongue out there at KSI, looking very, very confident. Stood right in front of each other, exchanging jabs. KSI hasn't really landed anything, but we've got to remember the size difference will make it harder for KSI to get inside on Logan. Logan doing a good job of keeping him on the outside with the jab. And literally, we're 2 minutes into this fight and Logan is already talking shit. Hands down low, smiling. Now, what is a little bit concerning for me, obviously, we've watched this fight before. We know that Logan Paul did slow down a lot in this fight. One little concerning thing for me is, I'm watching this fight for the first time in like a year. I can't remember what happened, but Logan's cardio cost him in this fight. And what's concerning to me is KSI isn't really forcing him to work that hard. Both guys stood in front of each other, just exchanging jabs. I understand why Joe Weller gassed out in the fight we just watched. That fight was contested at a crazy pace. Whereas here, or as I say that, Logan starts to let his hands go. Obviously, it goes without saying that striking defense, potential big issue for KSI. We saw Logan Paul light him up with that 4-5 strike combo there. We also saw holes in KSI's striking defense, in his last fight against Joe Weller. So, little bit of a concern when Logan actually found his range there off the jab and started to let his hands go. Did cause KSI a lot of problems. I mean, I'm sure we're going to see a replay of it here. Towards the end of the round, Logan really started to let his hands go. Beautiful right straight there. Got the attention of KSI, snapping the head back. Another right hand followed up by the jab and a huge left hook. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant combinations from Logan, looking very, very sharp in round one. And obviously KSI's striking defense, a little bit worrying. What I would also say, if we can go back and watch this replay in slow motion, the most concerning thing about the final combination that Logan landed was KSI, when his opponent is letting his hands go, He's kind of like a sitting duck. If we just slow that down there, if we go back and watch it one more time, I mean, KSI should be keeping his hands up, right? You need to keep your hands up to defend yourself. And when Logan just starts teeing off with this combination, KSI's hands are still down low. His head's getting snapped back. Eats a big left hook, right straight, followed up by another left hook. Throughout that whole exchange, his hands are down low. Even when Logan is done letting his hands go, KSI's hands are still down by his side. That is a bit of a concern for me. He should be trying to get his hands up and defend himself. I mean, he's not like he's fighting Mayweather. Surely Logan's hands aren't that fast. And now we go into the second round. Very, very concerning for KSI. Striking defense not looking great in that Joella fight. And again, not looking great against Logan Paul here. And yes, Kamikaze. This is Logan Paul's first fight. So the Logan Paul's rematch, the rematch this weekend will be Logan Paul's second fight ever. Trigger Horse. If you go to, it does say Betway have it, dude. Betway are taking bets on this fight. You can see there. If you go to oddschecker.com, go to the boxing section. You'll be able to find odds for this fight. 2 secs, guys. Making sure everything's all good on Twitch. There we go. Round 2. And another really important detail to pay attention to is, I mean, these boys have now been fighting for almost 4 minutes. KSI hasn't really landed anything on Logan, but remember, he did start slow. And again, he did start slow, in the fight against Joella. He only got going in that third round. But here we can see huge holes from KSI. If we just rewind here, massive holes from KSI. Look as he throws this right hand. He's basically flat-footed, off balance, feet are all over the place. Chin basically poking out, asking to be hit. Again, as he throws this right hand, just watch. Look at this. Look at this, where his right hand is. Wide open to a huge counter. Logan Paul's done a great job of slipping this right hand. If he was fast enough, if he was able to just see this opening and time the right hook counter, his power right hand coming back this way, KSI would probably get knocked out. If we watch it in real time, look at how hard KSI commits to these right hands. Let's just watch him again in real time. He's off balance. He's committing hard. He's winging a huge shot that misses wide. Wide open to the counter. Look at this. It's coming up any second. Look in real time. Wide open to the counter. And Logan saw it coming from a mile away and managed to get out of range, get out of danger. Absolute madness. KSI taking some big risks. And again here, if we just go back, look at this position here. This position, KSI literally flat-footed. Look at his feet, flat-footed, leaning backwards, stood right in front of Logan Paul. Now, I know Logan Paul's posture isn't great either, but with a little bit of experience, if Logan Paul would have just stepped back and let his power right hand go, KSI is wide open to all kinds of counters here. Look at this. Look at how much he's overcommitted to the right hand here. He's off balance. He's wide open to a huge counter. And obviously, with it being Logan Paul's first fight, not able to capitalize, but huge weaknesses. from KSI. And I am just making some notes on this. Absolute craziness from KSI. Again, so there you see, right? This is what happens. You know, when your opponent is swinging wild at you, you're not going to be able to get their timing straight away. You're not going to be able to find your range straight away. You're not going to be able to pick up on their tells straight away, especially when someone's winging as wild as KSI is. But look what happens here. Now when KSI starts to wing on that right hand, notice how Logan is expecting it, and he actually starts to land the counter here. Watch, as on this occasion, KSI's thrown that big left hook, and again, look at his head position, wide open to the counter. This time we start to see Logan firing back, and on that occasion, he only poured his right hand out there twice, didn't fully commit to the counter, but you can see Logan is starting to get the read. He's starting to see that right hand coming, and he's starting to try and counter it. So we're starting to see in this round, you know, we're only 5 minutes into this fight, we're already starting to see Logan getting his read and getting his timing. And the most important detail to pay attention to here is that both these guys are very, very inexperienced. They can do all the training that they want, but when they get in there on Saturday night and they know millions of people are watching at home, and again, see there, we see it again, guys. It's such a big detail to pay attention to. Notice how when KSI wings this right hook, notice how Logan's looking for the counter. Sees it coming from a mile away, slips it, counters. Do you see that? Countered with a right hand. Absolutely beautiful. Logan's starting to get those reads. And this is only in the second round. Remember, you'd have 4 more rounds of this. This fight's getting very, very interesting. And what I'm really liking about this is, obviously, you know, KSI's landed jabs, he's landed 1 or 2 right hands, but hasn't really landed too much on Logan Paul. Hasn't really landed too much at all. And of course, a big part of that is the size difference. But a big part of that is also the patience of Logan. He's doing a great job just staying calm, staying patient. He sees everything coming, and he's doing a great job of just slipping those right hands, which are very, very predictable from KSI. He throws the jab out there, follows up with a big left hand. He landed it that time. But did you see why he landed it that time? Very, very critical detail. The reason why Logan Paul got caught with the right hand that time is because the setup is usually KSI will throw the jab and then come over the top with the right hook. He didn't that time. He just threw the right hook naked. He did throw the jab there, but then he just decided to throw the right hand without the jab, and that's what caught Logan Paul out. And Logan Paul made him pay for it with following up with a very nice combination. And I think the difference here is when Logan lets his hands go, he lands big and he lands hard on KSW. KSW 51 this weekend, live from Croatia. But when Logan lets his hands go, he does land, he does do damage. When KSI lets his hands go, punch after the bell there, very, very dirty. You know, Logan does land when he lets his hands go. Jake Paul getting in there to defend his brother there, can't fault that. We now go into the third round. Sorry guys, just making some notes there. For the more polished YouTube video that will be coming, this is the super rough Twitch live stream with a little bit of tape study. See if we've got any questions on Twitch. Kieran, dude. Nah, mate. Kieran's one of my elite members. Kieran's saying, you know, he thinks I'm half joking about this fight. I'm fucking dead serious. I am a huge fan of KSI. I've been watching him for 10 years, man. Maybe longer. He is incredible. So creative. His content's amazing. I mean, he really laid the path for a lot of YouTubers in the UK. You know, without KSI, YouTube might not be what it is today, right? And obviously to see Logan Paul, the evolution of his career from Vine to the daily vlogs into his podcasting now, two absolute content creation monsters, man. They are beasts. If you like online content, if you love YouTube, you've got these two boys to thank, because they really were a big part of growing the YouTube platform. in the early days. And Logan letting his hands go early in this third round, doing a great job and making KSI miss there. And see Michelle talking about Logan Paul's suicide video. Look, at the end of the day, mate, at the end of the day, he made a mistake, right? He's a young guy. He was in his early 20s. He made a video in poor taste. But fucking hell, man. I'm not being funny. We all make mistakes. If I had a fucking camera following me around in my early 20s, I probably would have been absolutely crucified online as well, because I did a lot of dumb shit. But I was lucky enough not to have cameras in my face all the time, the pressure of delivering daily content, you know, millions and millions of people watching my videos every day. You know, YouTube burnout, content creation burnout, it's a real thing. I've only got 4,000 subs on YouTube and I feel it. So, you know, let a young man make a mistake, man. You can't fucking define his entire life and his entire career on one mistake. It fucking happens, and I'm sure everyone watching this has made a mistake. So yeah, you know, the suicide video was in poor taste, but you know, can't fucking hold it against him forever, man. So everyone's just basically saying that Logan Paul's the far superior boxer and he should win easily. Based on what we're seeing so far, I certainly agree with you. But this is the third round, and it is quite clear now that Logan's starting to get a little bit tired. But again, look at the right hand there from KSI. Even when Logan's starting to get tired, KSI still can't get anywhere near him with that right hand. So predictable. I've got to make a note of that. And something that I've noticed in this fight is that Logan Paul's combinations, when he lets his hands go, he looks very good. Really, all KSI's got is a jab and a right hook. I mean, we haven't really seen KSI hurt Logan too much with the combinations. He's quite predictable. He's got the jab, he's got the right hook, but Logan obviously starting to look very tired now as he backed up there, taking big, deep breaths. And he is a very big guy. Absolute unit. But the thing that is concerning here is that Logan, at least in the first round, didn't exert too much energy and clearly starting to slow down now in this third round, the halfway mark of the fight. 3 rounds left to go, 9 minutes left in this fight, and Logan is clearly taking some big deep breaths here and starting to look very, very tired. Nizzy, I'm really sorry, dude. I haven't researched that fight yet between Anui and Donaire. Sorry, dude. So we now go into the 4th round. I mean, we've certainly got a lot of we have certainly got a lot to think about based on what we've seen so far. Logan Paul, clearly the superior boxer, but at the end of the day, if you've only got cardio for 3 rounds, what use is it? Now, what I'm interested to see is, it's quite clear in this 3rd round we're starting to see a momentum swing. Starting to see Logan slow down. Starting to see KSI have a lot more success. How much success does KSI have in landing now that Logan has significantly slowed down? We can see him taking some big deep breaths in his corner. We saw from the Joe Weller fight, KSI still fresh, great cardio, not even breathing heavy. KSI looks ready to go here. But how much success does he have landing? Even when Logan Paul is tired, how's his defense looking? Is KSI able to land? Again, looking for that right hook. Doesn't really land it though. It just glanced off the face of Logan. He did a great job of slipping it. And again, very, very nice read again from Logan. Logan's quite fast, you know. He sees this right hand coming from a mile away. Watch when they get into the exchange, the exchange right in the corner. Now, so far in the fight, Logan has avoided the right hand by slipping it. Whereas you see here, JJ has got him backed up in the corner. So watch, he's throwing the right hand here. As he throws the right hand there, notice how Logan just ducks under. So in the rest of the fight, you know, earlier on in the fight, we saw Logan actually slipping it. Whereas on this occasion, very, very nice, actually ducks under. Are we even going to be able to get to that frame? Ah, is it worth it? Is it worth it? Yeah, here we go. Here we go. As Logan gets backed up into the corner, watch how on this occasion he just slips. We might have gone too far forward, guys. Never mind. Never mind. We'll keep an eye on it. Lost the frame. But yes, it just... What that goes to show is Logan is seeing that power right hand from KSI coming a mile away. Ducking under it, slipping it. Very, very nice striking defense from Logan Paul. And again, KSI throwing that right hand out there and Logan slipping it, no problem. Beautiful stuff. And Logan also doing a really good job now of buying himself some time. You know, every time KSI comes forward, he's tying him up. He's making it ugly, but clearly very tired here as he's got his hands on his hips or hands on his knees with 2 minutes left to go. He did eat that right hand though, pretty clean, but KSI was too close to Logan, so he didn't catch him on the end of his punch. Kind of caught him with an arm punch there. So didn't hurt Logan too bad. Didn't land with full impact. But cannot fault the output of KSI. Great cardio. Great output. But obviously, you know, again in this round now, a little bit of a lack of experience from KSI. It is quite clear that Logan's tired in this round. You want to be all over him in this round. KSI should be all over him, forcing him to work, even going to the clinch, you know, beating the body up in the clinch, tying him up, instead of headhunting with that right hand, you know, pumping the jab, just forcing him to work. Because the more you force him to work at this stage in the fight, the more he's going to slow down. But KSI just perhaps taking his foot off the gas a little bit, you know, midway through this round, which means that it's giving Logan little breaks to catch his breath and recover. I do feel like KSI has been a bit guilty of headhunting a little bit in this fight, and against Joe Weller, to be honest. Just actually not against Joe Weller, I take that back. Against Joe Weller, he did a great job of disrupting Weller's rhythm with the jab, whereas in this fight, he's repeatedly going to the right hook over and over again to try and land the power shots. And possibly that's because of the size difference. Obviously, it's easier to land the jab on a smaller opponent. KSI did have the size advantage over Joe Weller, whereas with Logan being so much bigger than KSI, it's going to be more difficult to land the jab. But that is the fourth round, and Logan starting to look very tired. But, I mean, realistically, even though Logan was looking very, very tired in that fourth round, he didn't really land a lot. Sorry, KSI didn't really land a lot on Logan. So even when Logan's looking very, very tired, still good enough striking defense to protect himself. Now, obviously, KSI snuck through with a right hand on a few occasions, had a little bit more success in that round, but not a great deal of success. See Michelle, no, they are fighting. They are fighting without headgear, and they are also fighting with 10-ounce gloves. They're using 18-ounce gloves in this video. So, or in this fight, in the next fight, they're using 10-ounce gloves. making some notes, guys. Kevin, man, you can't stream the rematch, dude. You'll get shut down for copyright, dude. You gotta buy the pay-per-view, man. You can't stream anything that's copyrighted. And you see Logan take a massive deep breath there. Clearly getting very, very tired. But still, KSI not really able to land too much. The ref having a word with him about landing to the back of the head. And again, look, even now, watch. Even now, after this stoppage in the 5th round, KSI comes out here, throws a huge right hook. Logan, very tired, flat-footed, stood right in front of him and still can't land it. Logan does a great job of seeing it coming from a mile away and ducks under it. Even lands the jab to disrupt KSI's movement. But take a look at this, guys. Again, head way off the center line, over-committing to the right hand, feet planted, off balance, wide open to the KO. And you see there, right at the end of this this sequence, watch, as he throws the right hand, see here, KSI off balance, chin high and exposed, hands down low, and look, Logan looking right at him. He sees the opening here and he loads up the right hand to throw the right hand, but he doesn't have the technique, the timing, or the confidence to fully let it go here. And watch, he just pours a right hand out there, just pours a little shot, lands with no impact, but he's seeing the openings. He just doesn't have the experience, the composure, the technique to capitalize. This fight was a year ago. Logan has been training hard since then. Has he got the technique, the timing, the composure to throw it now? There's a good chance. There is a good chance. KSI wide open to a KO here. I mean, I don't want to keep going back and rewinding it, but we saw him overcommit to the right hand again there for just a few moments ago, which has basically led to this exchange that Logan's having so much success in. So what's really positive about this for me is even when Logan's looking tired, he's still having a lot of success. And you could make a strong case for, well, Logan's won the 1st round, the 2nd round, the 5th round for sure. Even when he's tired, he's managed to win this round, in my opinion. C Michelle 316 saying that Logan looks like he has a lot more skill. I agree, man. KSI just spamming that right hand over and over and over again. And Paul Hardy just saying that the True Geordie podcast with both Camps and Eddie Hearn got loads of good information in them. I agree, man. I had a great time listening to them. And those interviews they did with Geordie, they're gonna pop up in my next video on this fight, where I will be basically summarizing how I feel about this matchup and just basically showing you some interviews containing some valuable snippets of information which give us more clues as to which way this fight is likely to go on Saturday night. The biggest fight of the year, make no mistake. This is not a joke. You guys can think this fight's a joke. It is definitely not a joke. This is serious business. These boys will sell more pay-per-views than anyone else this year. They will bring more eyeballs to their fight than any other fighter will be able to bring to a fight this year. So the final round. Logan has been pretty damn tired now since early in the 3rd, but still KSI hasn't really been able to punish him for it. keeps winging that big right hook, missing wide almost every time. And we can see now, you know, this is into the 6th round. I know they're wearing head guards, but look at the face. Logan not really wearing any damage at all. Sol Shelby asking if it's possible for KSI to show some proper boxing skills. Yeah, man, it's possible. It is possible. Paul Hardy asking if I think I will have a bet on this fight. Yeah, I might for sure, man. Definitely liking the look of Logan. 100% liking the look of Logan. Gaspino saying the Logan's got bigger and stronger since this fight. Not sure if it'll help his cardio. That's true, man. It might hurt his cardio. You know, all those muscles, they take a lot of oxygen. They take a lot of juice. Definitely, because just because Logan's been training harder doesn't necessarily mean that that his cardio will improve. He is a big guy. You know, big, strong, muscular guys often have cardio issues. And now that Logan is really tired in this 6th and final round, KSI having a lot more success landing. See Logan's nose wearing a little bit of damage there. KSI having a lot more success landing the right hand. And Kamikaze82 has brought up a really good point. He's saying that, you know, clearly Logan's very tired here. But now that KSI's starting to land in this 6th round, you can see KSI's still very fresh. Great cardio, loads of energy. And now he's starting to land. Does still carry a lot of power. So, you know, if KSI's improved his striking defense, improved his footwork, his technique a little bit, you know, he could cause Logan some big problems in this fight, because it's quite clear that he still carries power very late on into the fight, whereas past sort of like the 2nd or 3rd round, Logan really slowed down a lot. And one thing I have noticed about both these guys is neither of them have really gone to the body at all throughout this entire fight. But obviously, can't be too critical, man. These boys are putting it all on the line. This is very early on in their boxing career. And they're doing pretty damn fucking good, considering this is Logan's debut. Never fought before, and KSI had only fought once before this. But that is that, boys. That is the fight. That is basically it. Obviously, it ended up in a draw, which is why they are going to rematch this weekend in the Staples Center in LA. So, what do you think, boys? Let me know in the comments section below what you think of this fight. Who do you think is going to win? Will you be betting on this fight? Will you not be betting on this fight? Let me know. I am going to go and basically take a look at my notes, watch some interviews, and put another video together for you, which will be dropping in a few hours or maybe tomorrow, on my final verdict on this fight. Based on what we've just seen, there are certainly a lot of openings there for Logan Paul. Definitely the more skilled boxer, but at the end of the day, you know, we put out content on MMA every single week, and sometimes fighters just have bad cardio. There's no getting away from it. You know, Logan Paul's a big guy, a big muscular guy. Who knows if he'll improve his cardio for the fight this weekend? And if he shows up with only 2 rounds of cardio, like he did here, if he shows up with 2 rounds of cardio on Saturday night, KSI could cause him some really big problems. But who knows, man? It's a very interesting fight. I'm looking forward to watching it. And I will now run through and see if we've got any questions or comments on Twitch. Mr. Godfather saying that if Logan's odds improve a little bit, it's going to be a bet for him. Yeah, Logan's definitely looking good in this fight for sure. Randy Baby saying it's a pass. I can definitely understand why you'd want to pass on this, mate. Kamikaze82 is asking how many rounds this is going to be. Yes, it is going to be 6 rounds again. So pretty much the same fight. The only differences are no head guard and 10-ounce gloves instead of 18-ounce gloves. Kamikaze82 also saying that Logan has to know that the gas tank is the main issue. He has to fix that. Surely you'd be thinking he would. It's a very good point, mate. Kamikaze also saying that KSI only has a puncher's chance. Kieran saying that It's hard to see Logan improving the cardio exponentially. Very, very interesting. So, I mean, look, boys, everyone thinks this fight is a joke. I see, boxing journalists, boxers slating these boys online. But at the end of the day, they are putting it all on the line. You know that whoever loses this is going to get crucified online forever and ever and ever, because the internet is full of assholes. I think these boys are super brave. I think they're both geniuses. There you can see Badu Jack there with KSI. Obviously, KSI has been training with the Mayweather in the Mayweather gym for this fight. But we're going to be talking about X factors, camps, training, all that kind of shit in the next video when I give my final verdict on this fight. But I hope you have enjoyed this, everyone. I will be back very soon to summarize my thoughts on this fight. I hope you enjoyed this tape study live stream. Remember, if you're watching on YouTube, please hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. And I will be back very, very, very soon with another video taking an even deeper dive into the fight this weekend between KSI and Logan Paul. Take care, everyone, and I'll be back very soon.